And welcome back. We're picking up where we left off last time in Endless Legends in our Necrophages run, where we're starting to pick up tier level 2 techs. In particular, our last faction unit and some military expanding techs, so we can field a larger, more well-rounded army for actually fighting the other factions, which we'll promptly start doing once we have that army. So let's see if we can get that to happen in this part. One of our heroes leveled up. The one in the city. Okay. I am going to still go ahead and take Slave Driver. This technically would complete the quest if I took a fast healer. We'll delay the quest a little bit. The unit cost reduction will be nice when we're trying to get that unit recruited. In a turn. I was hoping one of the units would actually reinforce the other one, but that's fine. Oh, of course, the enemy spawned or deployed behind the cliff, so we're gonna have a hard time trying to attack them this turn. And they're ranged, so they're not gonna have that problem the other way around. Yes, please hit my hero. My hero has lots of hit points that I don't mind losing. So we've been seeing a little bit more of the sounds of battle. The insectoid guys fight the arachnid style guys. Or gals. Reasonably decisive victory. Another 2 cadavers for the cadaver pile. Here we go, research complete. That is meaning we're going to want to design the new unit. This is the Profilator. The Great Reproductive Factory of the Necrophages. A Profilator resurrects foes by planting an egg that controls their minds. This is, I think it's a melee support unit, technically. So parasitism. The parasited unit dies, a unit is gained at the end of battle. You got oh, actually, even though these guys are got claws, in theory, they are still technically melee. We'll give them mage 1, then. We're actually going to keep them ranged. Give them the armor improvements. And they're reasonably slow, so we want to give them the movement speed. And Twitch chat is responding to that description with "ooh." Yes, they plant eggs in the enemy, and that is a very gross thing in a way. battle effects provides immunity against disease and parasitism on friendly target. And a friendly unit has to be targeted. So, technically, if we had a unit that was vulnerable to our disease, we could have these guys also give them immunity to that disease. Yep, you want to get one of those trained reasonably quickly. So we get one of those complete in 2 turns. Be at war against another empire in 10 turns, you get 160 extra dust. Doing it. Order the flying unit on the left to attack the leftmost guy, and of course he had to fly right into the middle so that the hero couldn't attack the guy in the middle. So we are getting attacked, but it's mostly worked out. Down there, take that city down. Minor city down. Minor village down. I'm just assuming it was going to fly to the closest tile and kind of screw that attack up. It's fine. There we go. 3 more cadavers. Okay, probably want meritocratic promotion done sooner rather than later. So I'm going to slow down our construction for a moment to crank up the production for the science. That gets us down to 3 turns. That's probably good enough. Oh. Our plan. And this is the first time we can get access to the tier 2 stuff, so we can go ahead and pick up 30% more attack. I don't need the support. We might keep the vision, though. Yeah, let's go with that. Here comes winter. Plus 1 extent of the ice shelf. Okay. So now bodies of water are partially freezing. Okay, still food positive. I can accept that burn rate on the money, and we can finish our tech on the next turn. So let's end the turn, complete that tech, and then we will begin a winter offensive, will be the plan. I am declaring war. Though the costs are high, war is occasionally useful as a clear and unequivocal message. And they're counterattacking us in the middle of the siege. So that is fine. We will ready to fight. See how well our guys actually hold up to sitting under the receiving end of the Marines here. That wasn't a bad choice for them. Okay, so we've suffered one casualty. Shouldn't be that hard to replace our casualties, as long as we win the battle. The cavalry is coming out of the defensive position to attack the anti-infantry guy. Yeah, that wasn't the smart move for the cavalry. Although it did kill the militia. Okay, I think we're definitely winning the fight. It has been a bloody affair. But in the end of the situations, I suppose a bloody affair just does kind of work out for us, because it just means we're going to get a lot of cadavers. As long as we win the fight and inflict atrocious losses on the enemy as well, then things work out. So we want you attack that one. You can attack that one, okay. about as good as it's gonna get. Okay, so we've destroyed the entire enemy army at the cost of probably the majority of our veterans, but the army and the city have fallen. In exchange for that affair, we've acquired 3 Battleborn, which are the troops that have been generated by resurrecting the dead with the parasites. I suppose. Could I actually transfer you to the garrison? Yes. Okay. So we can go and put the Battleborn in as some garrison here. Early on, this place already apparently has the forge, so we'll do Empire Mint and a Dust Filter. Okay, so we're going to want more forgers, more drones. The Patrol Radar can be delayed, because that was mainly just absorb extra industry. Yeah, so functionally the entire casualty list will be replaced within 7 turns. So before the winter ends, but this is apparently a really short winter. The winter's only 1 to 10 turns long at this point. Oops. No, we probably want them in before that. Yeah. In Ruling, but from the Gunnerson effect is going to go away fairly quick. 8% of a turn. The Empire is relatively happy, and we got a bunch of food recycling effects. You're going to go up to 10 anyway. I don't want the food in the new city yet. Although that's probably where we'll... Well, no, we probably do want to still put in the capital. There is the end of winter. Summer has returned to make everything lush and green, except for, you know, the desert. The desert's not lush and green. And will never be. Although, for us being terrible farmers, that's perfectly fine, because we're not going to be good at farming the desert anyway. So my understanding is you only get the benefit from one cast of that per turn. So I cast it twice, so it's actually just going to apply for 2 turns, is my understanding from a perspective. Math-wise. Which is fine. It works out for me. So we're going to eat a wonder down. We can actually liberate these guys and send them to join the army. 3 turns for those. You hear a lot of this construction is helping with this guy rapidly gaining XP, so it's construction points spent on recruiting here. So we'll probably get fast healer pretty quickly on him. Get that quest done. Oh, I gotta remember I can swap the other one from food over to history. Yeah. Oh, not entirely because we don't have enough food production there. Due to the population being happy. Okay, so the population is perfectly happy. They would support that food population. And with that, cannon fodder is done, so that keeps a lot better. Ten turns to grow, okay. I'm gonna spend some money to increase the rate that we build up this city area a little bit. There we go. And they retreat. It works out for me. It means you don't have to fight and they take a bunch of damage. You've leveled up, so we can complete the fast healer for advancing the quest. Last hind legs standing. Reese has been adopted. His name will be called Reese. Driven by some ultimate goal, he speaks of valuable resources needed for experiments that are held in secret places. In a secret place by the Vultures. With Cal Reese assigned to an army, search the temple ruins located in a particular region to gain access to the fungal laboratory. Limited to 1 copy empire, where Caris is the hero. It must be city governor and provides 50 food per hop working on food in that location. And it's that location, which isn't actually going to be too hard to send the hero to. Assigned to the army. Yeah, so we just need to send him over there as the army. So got another minus 44 from ownership. So actually, this place is trending up to 90, which is nice. This isn't quite there yet. Oh, I won that fight too, so that works for me. And you can see the disease ravaging the enemy troops. Okay. Only enemies ranged is down, so it's just those sweet strike back ice wargs. Given how melee army is, it's actually a little annoying that they have sweep strike back. Because we can't just come running up and swarm them with sheer numbers, or we'll bluff ourselves pretty hard. Although it looks like we've hit them hard enough, that won't hopefully be a problem. That has acquired us more Battleborn, which you'll notice that the Battleborn don't have to respect the normal rules about how many units you have in an army. So the army shall grow in response to fighting the enemy. We've got another food stockpile. Let's deploy that in the capital. Reactivate our wine to keep everyone happy. And then I need to go explore that ruins with an army, so we're going to assign army that we need, the general we need to do that with, to that army. So we'll use the old Battleborn from the first battle as his entourage for the trip. sadly, the Battleborn do make us slower. They don't have the movement speed item the rest of our army is walking around with. Can we explore from the bottom of the cliff, or do we need to go to a different spot? We need to go to a different spot. That's fine. Still taking a penalty for ownership. Although we make enough food that we can at least feed everyone. How much does it cost? It's a little expensive. Get both those villages done. That'll accelerate the food production in this zone. With that, we've gained access to the fungal laboratory. The enemy has been vanquished, their precious materials taken. Most pleasingly, Ka-Rish shows utter loyalty and craves to begin work on the breeding chambers. Okay. Sign to the city. Yeah, the original capital city, yeah. In order to build the fungal laboratories there. In exchange, we get 20 palladium. Not sure if I can already go reassign him back to the city or if we got a cooldown. Yeah, we got a cooldown on him teleporting. It's gonna take him at least 3 turns to get teleported back. Well, the advancement in the main quest, I think that is a good place to put a part break in. If you're watching on YouTube, there will be a part up tomorrow, because we're going to record one more part in this recording session. We're going to continue the war against the Volters. We'll probably start laying siege to the next enemy city in the next part. We're going to be getting our second hero, the one related to the main quest, back in the capital, where he can go back to being the governor, as well as potentially making use of that food building. Although, that's food on working food, which is not something we've really been doing very much in the capital, but it's an option. And we are continuing to expand the capital to get more and more borough streets to make more and more resources. It's not necessarily very good for making food, but it is very good for making everything else, and we do need everything else, so that's not a problem. And we're only minus 10 from city tile improvements, right? So we've basically got the approval malus of 1 borough street, even though we've obviously have a lot more than that, because they're upgraded enough that they're starting to provide positives instead of negatives. But yeah, that's where we are in this game. As you can see, it's a very militaristic-focused game. We're not necessarily teching particularly fast. But we've got sort of the important text, which is kind of the goal with what I'm playing as. And we're being very industry-centric. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and wish you all the best of luck and a good time. Catch you all in the next part. And bye for now.